Hi again everyone, Charles here, and today we're going to work on a very old Prostrata Juniper bonsai. This juniper was purchased as a 5-gallon nursery specimen 12 to 15 years ago and was grown as a bonsai. The biggest problem initially was the fact that this lower trunk here was inclined much lower and the tree had to be brought up to vertical and the roots had to be worked on down here. Our task today is to cut back the foliage on the branches and equalize the strength of the branches. If you'll notice up top, the tree sort of has a missing apex, and that was intentional on my part. The original apex jutted forward too far, and my Japanese bonsai instructors pointed that out to me. And ultimately, after much work and meditation, I realized that the only solution was to grow a new apex. So what we'll do today is trim back the other branches and work on equalizing the strength so that the tree's new apex gets enough of the tree's strength to grow well. There are a couple of little side branches below the apex that we want to preserve because the tree's new design is going to need them. And then after we get this worked on, we'll just work our way down the tree and trim back the other branches. Being very careful here because these tiny little branches are needed for the tree's future design. Okay, that's enough of the little branches below the apex. And now we'll just start cutting back the existing branches and bring them down so that the growth of the new apex. We're now working our way down the tree and working on the smaller top branches. And the reason we're going from the top down on this one is because the size of the new apex dictates how much growth we can leave on the rest of the branches. So we'll work on this smaller front branch here, and then we'll take out some down-hanging growth as we've described in previous videos, and then we'll just keep working our way down the tree until we get to the bottom. And we're just lightly evening things up here. Fortunately, Prostrata is a fast-growing juniper, and whatever we cut will grow back rather quickly. These back branches died back a while ago when we were doing gin and shari work on the deadwood, and they're being regrown. That was a little bit of a miscalculation on my part. I took off too much bark here, and the result was this branch and this one got starved for sap. So we're just working on getting those back because they're definitely a necessary part of the tree's design. And now we're going to work our way farther down towards the lower branches. We're going to do some semblance of preserving the shape of foliage pads here. We typically try to make them a little higher in the middle of the branch than on the sides, but we're not too concerned about that now because this is a pruning for future growth rather than for an eventual showing of the tree. And at this stage, this tree is probably 2 to 3 years away from being in its next show. It was last shown in 2003, again with the imperfect apex that my Japanese instructors commented on. Now I'm going to come down and we're going to finish the pruning by working on the first 3 branches. And I'm sitting down right now so I can see these branches at eye level because these branches are fully developed and it is a bit more important to maintain profile on them. Okay, that's the second branch we just worked on. Clean up the back of that just a little bit. Still have just a little overgrowth here. Now we're going to come across the back branch. And again, just take off some unwanted growth that's been put on, and hopefully get the tree to direct all of its growth energy this time of year towards the top. Most junipers will put on a late flush of growth in the late summer, so this is actually a pretty good time to prune them. And this is especially true of Prostrata junipers like this, and its closely related cousin, the San Jose juniper, one of which I worked on in another video. We're just finishing up the back branch. Then we'll come over here to the first branch. And like I said, we'll just bring the top of it down fairly even. And clean out some of the undergrowth. And get the tree's profile back. Now, if you're working on a tree like this for a show, you want to pay much closer attention to the size of the foliage pads, especially on the first branches, because the tree's profile is going to be the thing most noticed by the spectators at the show. We'll just do a little bit more cleanup here, and that should finish this pruning. Okay, let's step back and have a look. Okay, we still have just a little bit of undergrowth on some of the upper branches. Oh, there's a big one hanging down up there. Growth there, and I think that about finishes this particular tree. So we'll do a slow 360. Oh, one more right there. We'll do a slow 360, and that will conclude this demonstration. Thank you for watching, folks.